energy here in this stadium that you could just feel like this tournament means so much to the fans here, and this game in particular means so much to them here with the home team of Signify looking to prove themselves against what is probably one of the biggest giants of Southeast Asia in TNC.
Oh, this would be a big cap for them if they could actually take out TNC. I mean, we saw them play a lot better Dota at COBX. That series that they had against Tigers, you saw that there is talent there is skill. I just think they need to go through that rough growing phase of getting crushed repeatedly until you kind of get to that pace. You understand like how fast teams are playing. And, you know, they haven't won a game yet, but this might have been their culmination moment where they're like, well, we understand what sort of Dota we need to play.
Looking at the draft here, do you feel like Signify have given themselves a good shot with this this Kunkka, Darkseer, Ursa?
The way that I always look at it is if you're like a worse skill team, go for the team fight. Just have the team fight ready. Be willing to play these like quick fights, these quick engagements. I don't actually think you should be going for the late game. That used to be the old way of looking at Dota, right? Like if you're the worst team, try to get to the late game and like play a turtle strat. Yeah. But I think it's the opposite. You should play this fast style, try to come out aggressive, swing in.
And in that regard, we do have plenty of team fight. The combination of like Kunkka is one of the best cores to be able to provide that. We've got a fast fighting hero in the Ursa. They've given themselves some pretty good lane setup as well, with the Ursa matched up against the Doom and the Darkseer being able to sit against the tri-lane at top. It feels like they read the lanes correctly, right?
Yeah, for sure. Also, I think Swifty he's so talented. And I'm not just saying that to like pander or anything like that. We saw him when he played against Dendi mid too. Like he held his own, he did great. He had that unorthodox Kunkka build where he went Lotus Orb and he went Spirit Vessel. But it actually ended up paying off before they ended up throwing the game in the end, but
yeah, I remember it was like such an unconventional build, but it actually worked out so well. We've seen Swifty now hit 2 different torrents against Armel. Armel taunting him back, telling him that he's been seeing it coming all the time. CS-wise, looks like the Templar Assassin is up, though, by a decent chunk, currently sitting at 7-3, while the Kunkka is 6-0.
Yeah, and we saw during when me and Slex were talking in the Vodafone segment, I think this is probably the most important matchup. Like, if Swifty can hold his own against Armel mid, you know, it really ups their chances.
Yeah, because Armel mid is, like, very dangerous.
I mean, this guy, in terms of individual skill, I think all the C mids individually are so skilled.
Yeah.
You have to be, because you have to be so good at mid when you play in Southeast Asia that they just have to give the role to you. It's like I remember I was like some 6K player when I was in SEA playing for Zephyr. It's like nobody wanted to give you mid. You really got to grind through the trench to get to that.
We haven't really seen much from our Tiny as well as our Leshrac. It looks like they're going to be roaming around a little bit. What do you think about this support duo? It's a kind of a weird duo, right? A Tiny Lesh. Like normally, like one of those at least would be a core.
It's a little bit greedy.
Yeah.
Especially with the Lesh being, I think this is going to be a Lesh 5. Like he's got one set of tangos.
I hate Lesh 5.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Lesh 4 either, to be honest, but Lesh 5?
I don't hate Lesh 4 because I think what fulfills a 4 position is something that scales into the late game and something that has a flash farm mechanic. And I feel like he fulfills both those roles. The downside is he's not guaranteed reliable initiation, whereas I think like Tiny's pretty good for that. Like you can, once you get a Blink Dagger, you can at least start the fight as we are going to get back into the game.
So our matchup continues in that mid lane with aggro tri-lanes coming out from both sides. The No Chance has actually been pushed out of lane so hard by TNC. He's now jungling as the Darkseer. He was able to get some CS just as off of, you know, double ion shelling, but he's gotten pretty much no experience because Tims and AU are just being relentless. They started off with the whole entire laning phase getting behind the tower just like they're doing now and throwing some damage on him, and they haven't let up one bit.
Yeah, and I really like what they're doing, just zoning out, allowing the Weaver to get absolute free farm. I usually don't see it like this. Like the reason why you put the Darkseer in the safe lane is because you assume no matter what the matchup is going to be, he's at least going to get levels and some modicum of farm, but instead he's being completely shut out. Gabby has been entirely uncontested so far.
And in that regard, it's weirdly better for the Doom. You would think that Darkseer would be better against a tri-lane, but Doom at least has the guaranteed farm of devouring a creep every once in a while. And you could see in the bottom right, like Cuckoo's just kind of like chilling out deep inside the jungle, trying to keep himself hidden and soak a little bit of experience from time to time.
This was the matchup we saw, by the way, at the other tournament we saw Signify play at. It was the Templar Assassin versus the Kunkka. If I remember correctly, Swifty had a hard time in the laning phase, but I mean, as soon as he started getting levels of X, he was able to set up for kills.
Oh, the toss back. Cuckoo going to be tossed straight over to the Ursa. They're trying to slow him down as best as possible. Cuckoo now has the extra movement speed up. That's toss again. Though he might be able to get another toss. And to be honest, there's nowhere for Cuckoo to run. So that is going to be your first blood for Signify. It's Mr. Crowley taking it.
And that's a very good start for them. The downside, though, is their Darkseer. If you just compare the offlaners, Cuckoo, even with that death, is level 3. He's got 3 CS. On the flip side of things, No Chance already going into the jungle. Not the sort of start that you typically want as a Darkseer, especially one that you stick in the safe lane.
I mean, we got the kill on the Doom, but would it be better for these supports to be at the top lane? And then they could just have an Ursa versus a Doom matchup.
Yeah, I don't know why both of them feel the need to be up here.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they want to make the rotation onto Armel mid. That's the only reason why I could see them committing this dual lane. Because it's so much easier to rotate into the mid lane from that position. As in mid, Swifty is going to immediately get the D ward. Nice use of the sentry there.
Arcane boots already for Crowley, who picks up an arcane rune. Now that the Rubik is gone, things might be a little bit better for the Darkseer at top lane.
And he is now level 2 after spending some time in the jungle. Top lane's going to push in, and this is the rough part, is that every single time he pushes in the lane, what ends up happening is the Chihiro just cuts into him, immediately forces him out of XP range, and No Chance isn't really risking getting killed. And I feel like that's a little bit of a mistake. If you're an offlaner, you shouldn't really be afraid of dying. As in mid lane, Crowley's going to come in.
Spike, they're going to be able to get the torrent as well. That's going to be a big kill on Armel.
And we see, that's what we talked about. That's the reason why they decided to park those 2 supports at bottom, is so that they can make that rotation on a mid. And I think Armel's really surprised that he died there. He's probably thinking to himself, like, I've got 600 HP. They can't really kill me. I've got Refraction too, but Torrent plus the tiny stun is going to be more than enough, as Crowley going to fight for that bounty rune. They're going to at least pick up 3 of these. And so now we have an early lead for Signify.
Do you think this is just like a conscious decision that they made? They're like, we're just going to leave No Chance, like, sorry, but you're the one who's going to have a bad game here, and we're going to enable our mid hero and our safe laner as much as possible.
I mean, what's eventually going to happen is they're going to leave him alone, because the other supports on the side of TNC are going to feel like they have to match rotations, and No Chance should be okay against Weaver, right? Like, you can't really die.
Yeah, certainly.
So you sort of just trade farm as mid lane.
Get him again. The toss back underneath the tower with an X Torrent combination available as well. Armel's going to turn and fight as best as possible with the refraction, but with the underneath the tower, especially.
Crowley's got tossed again.
Burn through. He's trying to turn as much as possible. The toss is not going to be enough, and both mids will walk away with just a small amount of HP left.
If he was able to toss it back into the creep wave, that would have been another kill onto Armel.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, but it is the level 6 now of Armel. He's got to be a little bit careful mid. Swifty dropping a little bit low as AU's going to come in with the invis. They are going to spot him with the use of the sentry. He's going to get hit with the back-to-back traps. AU thinking about loading up on that breathe fire, on that dual breath, sorry. And I think he knows that he's spotted because the creep started hitting him. Swifty mid. Going to get helped out with the arcane boots as Crowley, he knows that the Jakiro is in this area.
They've got the Shrine available too, so it's probably best. Get Swifty back up to full HP, and then they've got the full combo now that he's level 6 with Ghost Shipped. Blizzard is totally free farming at bottom lane. We've got an Urso's being left entirely alone. Cuckoo is pretty much jungling at this point in time, and he did find the right kind of creeps for it. He got the Satyr creep pretty early on, so he's been able to jungle to some efficiency. And No Chance is, I disagree with this. I'm not sure why he feels like he needs to jungle still, especially as supports keep on showing up in that mid lane.
You know what? I wouldn't even be mad if he decided to cut.
Yeah.
Through top, you just walk through here. I think that's what they prepared this ward up here for. Like on this high ground,
They thought he was going to cut the creep wave?
I think they thought he was going to cut the creep wave, because there's no other reason you put that there. The odds of killing the Weaver are pretty low, I think.
This looks like just the classic scenario of an offlaner who's too afraid to feed.
Yeah. I think this is one of those like main stage jitters sort of things.
Yeah.
Like you're playing in a big tournament, you're playing in front of the home crowd. Because you saw Cuckoo, he just kind of ran down. He's like, I don't really care if I die because I'm still getting levels. And I feel like that's always going to be the classic offlaner trade where you're going to die, but you get levels, and that's almost always going to be worth it for you.
We're going to have our first big push on a tower here. Negi does have the level 2 Diabolic Edict right now, but the glyph is going to go off.
And in this mid lane, despite the death by Armel, when it comes to CS, he is overwhelmingly in the lead.
Okay, just a blind avalanche. Mr. Crowley is going to be able to find him, eventually toss him back to the rest of his team. Telekinesis to follow that one up to try and slow down this damage. Cuckoo's going to join this Rubik and may actually turn into a full team fight, as now the Weaver's going to be here as well. They are going to be able to hunt down into the trees with the bugs on top of Crowley. The Ice Path is not going to be able to land, but Crowley still dies. The TP out from the Ursa is successful. It's going to be the 2 supports down. Very important for Signify that their Ursa survives, but a great rotation by TNC, especially from their Weaver.
Yeah, that was really smooth by him, making his way down there. And it was really like the half commitment. You saw they weren't really prepared for the toss by Mr. Crowley, so the Lesh didn't have the stun queued up.
Doomed up, no chance, trying to get away from Cuckoo right now. Where's the rotations from Signify? Is there going to be anybody? Because No Chance had plenty of opportunity to be able to get away. Wait, no way.
Oh, mid lane.
Cuckoo's going to fight him eventually. They will be able to get him back over to mid lane. Armel is going to be in trouble. Actually turned around. He had the balls to turn around and go for a hit just because he recognized that they had run out of damage at that point, run out of catch.
Yeah, they were actually really close to getting the kill on him, but instead swinging things around. And this is just kind of the difficulty of killing this TA with the type of lineup that they have.
Another shrine available, but they got to be careful, Gabby. He knew some heroes were low, and he was kind of looking around that shrine area, trying to find somebody, but no such luck. TNC, as we approach the 10-minute mark, is 2,000 gold lead, and be even bigger if they can actually kill Blizzard here, who is going to be in some trouble. Has the Weaver bug on him right now, just trying to get back. Looks like he's not going to be dove here, Gabby. Maybe a little bit scared, and for the right reason. If he went a bit too far, Swifty would have been able to catch him with an X. They'll just make sure that they're controlling up the bounty runes. They are getting the better of this engagement right now. Being able to pressure the tower, force a carry back. A mid-hero kind of left in that bottom area, not really getting any farm.
Yeah, and they're going to switch things up. Let their Rubik play in this mid lane, try to catch back up in levels. Tim's not even that under farm for support, honestly. Like, if you compare the 2 supports from the side of Signify to the 2 supports on the side of TNC. And in this top lane, they're trying to make the same thing happen for Negi. Give him the lane, allow him to pick up some farm. Doom's on cooldown. You know that the pressure isn't really coming. But this sort of passive style, I don't think favors Signify.
Yeah. I mean, you said you want to be able to play faster. You've got the superior team fight. You just need to kind of just go for it. I do like the fact they're giving their Leshrac levels. He needs to be able to... I mean, we talked about how greedy that support duo was, and the fact that they spent so much time playing this aggro lane and just kind of ganked mid once in a while. It just left them very underleveled.
This is sort of the problem with having a 5-position Leshrac, is that you do need farm. Like, being one of those heroes with 600 HP that just simply dies to everything doesn't feel too good, as Cuckoo has been waiting here for the past minute and a half. Looks like he wants to just wait for Negi to go a little bit to the left. I think he wants to try to get this kill without having the Doom.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to blow Doom for a 4 position. Even bigger if he can kill No Chance
here.
again.
This is a level 7 Darkseer. This would be a pretty good opportunity for Cuckoo. He's waiting in the wings. He's going to pop the Doom.
Perfect situation. He gets in melee range of him and is able to nail him immediately with the Infernal Blade follow-up after the Doom. And now he's just got to make sure he gets out. But a good stun comes out from Negi. Needs to be able to back up, though. AU is right behind him with the Ice Pass. Swifty thinking about going for a combo onto AU, but wouldn't really be worth the attempt.
And once again, we see the Kunkka decide to go for the Urn. This is the build that we saw him go last time when he played up against the TA. This type of build also signifies, no pun intended, that they're trying to go for the early team fight.
Gabby's just going for it. Almost kills Mr. Crowley here. Fortunately, the avalanche at the last second was thrown out.
And Gabby's got a really greedy build. Opting to go for the Midas, more levels of the Geminate attack. He's picked up a bottle for himself too.
Why do you think he did go for the Midas? Like, surely if you're a little bit scared of this team running out you and out team fighting you.
I'm not sure. I think that he probably decided to go for it because he was just completely unpunished in the laning phase. This Blizzard getting gone on here is going to immediately kill the bugs. That is the benefit of the Ursa against the Weaver matchup. But when it comes to the late game, I think Weaver matches up really nice against Ursa. You have a hero that heavily relies on that initial burst damage in Ursa versus a hero that is really good at just playing the margins of the fight. He's got a reset button. He's got 2 reset buttons that allow him to kite, which against Ursa is so strong.
And we saw this once before in the tournament where a safe lane Weaver is just kind of spoiling a team's whole game plan of going and taking that safe lane tower and taking over a part of the map just because they feel like they don't have enough catch to be able to actually kill that Weaver. And we're seeing it here where Signify keep on rotating down to bottom lane. They keep on pulling Swifty over here, but he is yet to be able to pick up a kill.
It's Crowley, only level 6 at 14 minutes as the 4th position Tiny. I mean, both their supports can't really make moves around the map, and TNC, I think they just have a much greedier tricore. I feel like this has kind of been what's hurting them at this tournament, is they keep picking this really greedy tricore. Like Cuckoo's playing a hero that needs farm. Remember when we saw him play the Necro? You have a Doom, you have a Weaver, and you have a TA, one of which has a Midas. Actually, both of them have a Midas. Both the Doom and the Weaver decided to go for a Midas. So you have 2 cores that don't really space create, but just sorted through passivity. I mean, the score's only 4-2. TNC is passively winning this game.
Man, I can't believe Cuckoo's already like level 11. This passivity is only going to get worse if he gets to level 15, has the 150 the extra gold from the Devour.
Yeah, I mean, I think this feels really good for TNC.
Yeah.
They're just going to get this tower for free. They are going to trade off the bottom one, but they're just getting more and more on the map. The TA's already got Blink Dagger. Eventually, they're going to be able to go for the Roshan, which I think Signify really need. Like, the counter to lineups that have major ultimates like Dooms or Chronospheres is get Aegis. Put it on your core so he's never in trouble of dying. Like, if you get it on your Ursa, are you ever really worried? If he gets doomed, who cares?
Gold and sweet.
Big difference between those 2 safe lane towers being traded out is that TNC felt confident enough to be able to leave Armel mid and farm and hit the tower. Whereas Swifty actually felt like he needed to be bottom lane with the rest of his team. Good telekinesis is tossed down into the river. That's going to make Swifty panic and run away. Nice pass, Macropire with Gabby coming in from behind. This is the big TNC rotation. Get the pick off and turn it into the mid-tier 1 tower kill. Fortunately for Signify, they still have plenty of heroes here. They're going to quickly deny that 1 ward behind the tower, but there was still a lot of damage that was done to the tier 1. In fact, they're going to pop the glyph, keeping the siege creep alive. And Signify, we said, you know, they have good team fight. They don't even try and take the team fight here to protect their mid tower.
And part of it too is that no chances at bottom without a TP, which I think is a bit of a mistake. And this is coming down to one of those situations too where we saw yesterday in the series Na'Vi played against Keen. The threat of the Doom is more than just the Doom itself. Like, him being able to hold on to it and just sort of posture and threaten without actually having to cast it is massive for them. And as a result, they're just able to take all these towers. Like, you see that Swifty is Xing himself even in the mid lane, just trying to pop CS as Cuckoo running forward.
Torrent's gonna miss, and the split Earth doesn't have a chance to get it off, so boom. Armel comes in with a Blink Dagger, already has the Mithril Hammer as well.
They've got a Deso now. I think they should just straight up Roshan.
Yeah.
I think this is a free Roshan for them. They have so much map control with the mid-tier 1 tower and the top tier 1 tower down. There's not a lot of areas for Signify to TP in. If they just get ward vision, I think in this shrine area, you pretty much secure yourself guaranteed Aegis.
Well, it does look like TNC is beginning to set that up.
Yeah, they have the 1 ward right here that they just placed.
Yeah, they have the aggressive
So the reason,
to the dire jungle.
like, if you guys want to know about the ward vision and stuff like that, you're going to place it around areas that you're going to play into the future. And if you're going to play into Roshan, because you know they have no vision in this Tier 1 mid tower, and you still have your own Tier 1 mid tower, and because they don't have the Tier 1 top tower, it's very unlikely that they're going to be able to play around those areas. So it's more likely that they're going to, if they are going to TP or if they are going to fight, it's going to be around the shrine area, which I think actually spotted their smoke. So this is what leads into why the ward vision matters for TNC. Like, I see a lot of pub players, they just sort of drop wards idly.
Yeah, they think to themselves, like, oh, the enemy team might Roshan, or we're going to Roshan. Let's place wards directly in the river.
Yes,
right
they just get dewarded instantly.
You don't need to do that. You need to be able to see the team coming. That's all.
Once you're able to see the team coming, that's what allows you to back up. It's not, oh, they're here, guys.
Yeah.
Let's run. You're trying to spot things at least a few seconds in advance.
Oh, that stolen torrent from Tim's actually nails Swifty as he tries to come forward. That was a smoke rotation that was completely ruined for Signify. Not only do they not get the pick off, they're going to lose Negi here. There's no chance for him to get out. And that one little pick off, that's all it needs. TNC, they already knew they were probably stronger than Signify. I mean, they've got a 6,000 net worth lead right now.
They have this observer ward in the river here, and they've got one in the high ground area. But if you know they're roshing and you can't stop it, does it matter what vision you have?
Yeah.
So Torrent's going to come out, but you've got to commit right now as Crowley is looking in the area.
Down. Okay, there's the wall. No vacuum follow-up. Crowley's just going to run in there. The Roshan's quite low. The bolt's going to come out.
Armel's going to all in.
Stop this somehow. He actually managed to get the vacuum.
Crowley's got it.
Crowley grabs it. He stacks it away from Armel, and Armel dies. Crowley can come back. They've got the Doom right now on the Ursa, who's going to get surged up and starts booking it out of there. In fact, he feels confident to now put some damage on the supports. He's going to run down the Jakiro. The rest, both Gabby as well as Cuckoo, had to run away. So they protect the Ursa. He turns and gets a kill on the Jakiro. What a massive turnaround. They're going to be able to get even more. They catch Cuckoo. Swifty. He just needs to be able to catch up to get another excellent marks to the spot. He's definitely
they're going to get
going to go out. They think Cuckoo might have been TPing in that area. They're going to surge up Crowley, knowing he's got the other disabled. Cuckoo is somewhere in the trees.
He's found him.
He nails him. He knew exactly where Cuckoo was. Cuckoo somehow still alive, but you know he's not making it out for long.
Going to get right-clicked once. He's going to go down, and I mean, it was a pretty good net worth lead. All of a sudden cut down to 2K. The Titanic coming over the top, getting the last hit onto the Roshan, and they pulled Armel out of that pit. That was such a big deal. Crowley's the only person left in there. He gets the last hit. I think they got both the last hit and the Aegis onto him. So even though he died, it was a short-lived use of the Aegis, but the big part is that you take it away from TNC.
A 7,500 net worth lead that's cut down to 2K. A 10,000 experience lead that's now been cut down to only 5. TNC is still ahead.
I think
but it no longer is the insurmountable lead that it once was.
I think if you give up that Aegis, this game is probably just done.
Yeah.
Armel gets it. He marches down. He two-shots all your supports. You're not really able to play Dota. By going for that play, I was such a big fan of that. It's pretty much the guys, we're just gonna lose the game over time. We can't just allow the game to slip out that badly. And now they're starting to get some picks as Swifty going on to the Jakiro at bottom. Crowley is gonna follow up Swifty, getting the last hit with the cleave, and now they're starting to get some momentum, almost evening up the kill score. Just 20 minutes in, only down 1K. Very reasonable position for them to be in.
What's cool about this Swifty Spirit Vessel Kunkka is it's just like such a specific style to be able to play this hero where he just always knows he has the catch on you. He's got enough long-range bursts that he doesn't really need to commit, which in turn just means that other people can get in there nice and dirty, and that's why we've got like these heroes like the Ursa, this Tiny with the Blink Dagger. Those are the heroes that can kind of commit in and potentially die and trade themselves for a big kill. Swifty can continue to just play out these team fights, getting X after X.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of No Chance and the way he was playing his Darkseer in the beginning, but that one play at Roshan Pit, my guy, you redeemed everything for me. Everything. You can do no wrong now in my eyes. I was like, why is this guy jungling so much? That's why he's jungling so much. He's going to redeem himself.
Surged up Siege Creep is going to surge.
That thing is so quick.
Yeah. They really wanted vision around this area earlier. They smoked up and laid some vision down, which was quickly countered by TNC. Now the Siege Creep is basically going to be that mobile ward. They feel like they need to have vision of this high ground area in order to take this offlane tower.
Yeah, and it looks like TNC had the exact same idea. You see them mirrored down towards bottom, both teams making this read, And it's just going to be a free tower for Signify because TNC in no position to defend it.
You know what I do notice, though, is Signify always sticks around and kind of like waits and sees if their smoke is still going to pay off. But you saw TNC in that. They went into the high ground, didn't see anybody. Immediately, people started farming.
Yeah, and I think that's the right idea.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think it's part of the reason that TNC always have held a net worth lead.
Despite the fact that they were able to like get it down to like 1K at one point, it's just TNC just out-farms them right now.
Yeah.
It's also the nature of their heroes. They've got Doom Devour. He's almost level 15. He's got a Midas. Like, their double Midas is almost always going to pay off in situations where you're not running into team fights. Like, this 7-6 lead that they have with 3K gold definitely benefits the Midas team. Like, the amount of efficiency that you're getting is not bad at all.
Yeah. Crimson Guard complete for Swifty. We're going to have the Guardian Greaves as well for No Chance. So these are some really big team fight items combined with the Blink Dagger of Mr. Crowley. I mean, I think almost everything's complete for Signify to just kind of go for it and keep fighting.
Yeah.
What do you think about the movement speed build for Blizzard? Who, no Blink Dagger, Drums of Endurance.
Oh, Armel, gonna get caught on.
Oh, Armel.
Barely doesn't get caught out there, and they do in fact find him, but the vacuum whiffs, and Armel's gonna sit here in Viz, now making his way out. The rest of his team filtering in. It looks like Signify, they want to take this fight. I don't even know if this would be that bad of a fight for them because they have complete vision in this area.
Might get caught though. Oh, he's going to be able to get the XP immediately. Try and go for Swifty. The splitter to try and save with the BKB activated by Armel. They're going to focus down this Kunkka. The boat's going to come in, and they're going to be able to trade off the two supports for a big Kunkka kill. The BKB on the Weaver as well allows him to just be able to fight through these supports, and Blizzard is struggling to be able to keep his hands on one of these cores. The Weaver's a little bit too hard to get through. Same goes with
they have the
TA.
damage.
He can't TP out either, so he is dead. TNC, they will be able to, okay, they still lose that backline, but now it looks like Mr. Crowley's committed himself, maybe with the Blink Dagger. He can get out. He has no TP, though. And eventually he's going to be spotted here by Cuckoo, so he is going to die as well. Look at Cuckoo. Just toying with Mr. Crowley. That's 4 dead from Signify.
The mistake there being that they weren't really able to protect their Kunkka. They came in around where they didn't have vision. So in this high ground area, they started filtering through. I think this is probably the best fight that they can take when you have vision.
Oh, no chance. The Surge was on cooldown for a while, and he's not quite fast enough to be able to quickly outrun the Weaver. Fortunately, there is Swifty, who's going to join him here.
Yeah, in 5 seconds, Gabby would have had his BKB. As he's going to throw out the Blind Torrent, unable to find, almost does nail Tim's. In fact, and now they're going to find Gabby here as Negi.
Yeah, hit that Invis rune. He just stuck around, goes for the bounty, goes for the support. He does have the BKB, so he's not going to get caught by this combination. He wasn't able to get the Leshrac kill, which I feel like he could have committed for pretty easily, but...
Yeah, he probably gets that kill and gets out too.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way he can die in that situation.
That was his 9-second BKB.
Yeah.
He doesn't need 9 seconds to kill that Lesh.
No.
Especially with the boat committed, with the Torrent. Like, the amount of damage that they can put out to get him, they don't really have lockdown past the X that was used right there.
A big team fight upgrade. The Weaver has the level 20, the extra 2 swarm attacks to kill. Just means that once you get those bugs on people in a team fight, it just feels like it's inevitable that you're going to be able to win it. The longer it goes. You said in that last fight, though, like, the key part for you in that last team fight, was it the fact that, like, the Kunkka, they were able to go on him first?
Yeah. It's that Swifty wasn't really able to set up his fight at all.
Yeah.
He just got 1 spell and then he immediately died.
Yeah. Which is funny because we talked about the fact that, like, that's the whole point of the way that Swifty has his Spirit Vessel and stuff, is that he's supposed to be able to just, like, put such a long-range threat on people that he doesn't need to just immediately go in. But in that case, probably because of the Crimson Guard, he felt like he was tanky enough, he would just kind of roll in. Cuckoo does manage to kill the Leshrac here at the top lane with the rest of the team.
Gabby going for the Scotty. Thinks that the BKB is enough of a defensive item. I really like that. I hate when Weavers decide to go for like these triple defensive items. You know, they go like Manta, Lincoln's BKB just to deal with some form of disable. Yeah. For the most part, BKB gets rid of all your problems. If you're going to the point where like you're getting X'd and killed after your BKB usage, you probably lost the fight for other reasons.
9,000 gold leads, but maybe to the advantage of Signify. The next Roshan is coming up. maybe they'll be able to make another wild Roshan team fight and steal. That changes up the game for them because right now it's looking pretty bad. They do manage to trade out tier 2 towers, but meanwhile, TNC,
Blizzard.
they're moving in. They're going to be able to find Blizzard here. They immediately jump onto him. Telekinesis as well as Doom being thrown out. He managed to get off the enrage, but obviously he's still very dead.
Yeah, I think the reason why, by the way, he's going for this all status resist build is because he's assuming he's going to get doomed up.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get rid of the Doom as fast as possible instead of just going for something like the straight up Lincolns.
Okay, yeah.
That has to be the reasoning, right?
Yeah. Especially, like, who knows? Maybe he gets the late enough to get the 25 talent. Good courier micro there. Mr. Crowley actually blinked in and went for a swing on the courier, but somebody was paying attention on TNC and activated that invulnerability just in time.
Yeah, and the next objective is going to be this Roshan Part 2. Signify might have delayed the game by saving the first one, but we'll see if they're in a position to defend the second one. If they could do this twice. Most teams only get those kinds of Roshan steals once.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to happen this time. Signify are so far away from the Roshan pit. And Armel's TA is so fast at being able to do it himself. Especially with the Weaver, too. Man, that is a sick Roche-taking combination. Kills the trees, puts a ward on the high ground. But I'm not sure if Gabby, like, there was a bit of a ping. Maybe he actually saw the courier floating in. Scotty Nullifier up next for Gabby. We could see his Midas is already paid off. He picked it up so early, and I'm sure the Dooms has as well. Especially since our Doom has his Shivas now, a big team fight item that allow him to be able to... I mean, this Ursa feels like he's just not becoming much of a threat at all.
Yeah, he's not scary. Very soft bear. I mean, I'm not really sure what his like role is in this game because I don't know who he jumps on to start the fight. Like, you've got a Weaver that I just simply don't think they have enough damage to get through. The only way that you kill the Weaver, I think, is if you kill the other 4 heroes on the team and you're able to like multiple X him. But when it comes to like a straight 5-on-5, I guess the best thing for him to do is go on this Jakiro, because this Rubik's got Yules. Like, he'll just Yules him out, or Yules himself, reset the fight. Because the Ursa burst jump is so important. That's why Basher is so synonymous with this hero.
Right.
Like, it's important that when you decide to go in with your Fury Swipes, you instantly burst somebody down, you turn the fight into a 4-on-5. There we go.
It's funny because we had this conversation about how Ursa can be good versus Weaver later on to the game because you go this Blink Basher build, but Blizzard having a different idea for this game. Armel, not scared whatsoever, is just going to keep going for this high ground push. Has Aegis.
I think they want to force the other 2 heroes back right now.
Yeah.
And Ursa doing the split push shenanigans, I don't think really bothers them. They've got a full Scotty on their Weaver as well as Cheese. Armel's got the Aegis. Doesn't really have to commit too much to this. All they have to do is passively hit the tower. He's got the... got a Hurricane Pike now, too. This is just going to be another good item against the Ursa, who doesn't have the potential to jump in with the Blink. They're going to make the jump,
try to blow him up as quick as possible. They will be able to take away that Aegis, but maybe they overcommitted because a beautiful Ice Path from AU locks them down, slows them all. Cuckoo jumps in, does manage to get the Doom off of the Darkseer, so that team fighter, and like another Ice Path. It was 2 before, it's 3 this time. There's no doubt that this fight is already over. TNC take that. Now with the buybacks coming in from Signify, we'll see whether or not TNC can break Signify in a round 2 and just end this game now, or they're going to play it a little bit more safe.
Yeah, they're just going to reset, at least for the time being, but they're actually just going to jump back in on Armel. They're saying to themselves, they don't have the burst to kill him twice.
Oh, what a beautiful vacuum, but where's the follow-up? They don't actually have any stuns to be able to get in there. In fact, it was the Centaur stun from Cuckoo that did so much more work. Cuckoo is very tanky, and Blizzard's having a hard time to be able to beat him.
Nice Ice Path.
Blizzard, he dies first before Cuckoo, and Cuckoo is just taunting all of Signify. They've been wiped completely, and now it's all just objectives that are left for TNC. This game is over.
Yeah, now it's almost completely done. They've got no buybacks. Crowley's going to run into Cuckoo, who's actually down to fight, challenging him.
and he just doesn't have any physical damage now with the Ice Path. Okay, Cuckoo, his BKB is going to wear out soon, so he goes ahead, hides in the trees, pops back out, hits him with another Infernal Blade to finish him off, and again, Signify are left with nobody to defend the base.
And they're going to call it GG at 32 minutes. And they did have their moments. They were able to hold. The big part was being able to get